I'll put those in there after tonight.
We will call this public meeting to order, and the purpose of our public meeting tonight is to hear the presentation on our disaster recovery infrastructure grant, and we representing Fred Fox, right?
Yes.
Okay, so we'll just go ahead with your presentation, please.
All right. Good evening. My name is Melissa Fox. I'm with Fred Fox Enterprises, and the purpose of tonight's public meeting is just to go over the Hurricane Michael Round 2 funding that the town's eligible to apply for. The state of Florida has appropriated $111,516,000 in a second round of Hurricane Michael disaster recovery assistance for the 2021 federal fiscal year. The minimum award is $250,000, and there is no maximum award. Unlike small cities where you're limited as to how much you can apply for, this has no limit on it, and there's also no match requirement. Eligible activities include restoration of infrastructure damaged by Hurricane Michael, removal of debris and other damage, water and sewer facilities, repair to public facilities such as emergency community shelters, demolition, rehabilitation of publicly or privately owned commercial or industrial buildings, repair of homeless shelters and disaster shelters facilities, renourishment of dunes and/or dune restoration, and economic revitalization, which includes any CDBG DR eligible activity that demonstratively restores and improves some aspect of the local economy. Additionally, projects must demonstrate tieback or damage tieback to Hurricane Michael. They must primarily serve low to moderate income populations, support low to moderate income housing or urgent need, and not duplicate benefits. So if you have benefits that you received from FEMA or another source, you wouldn't be able to use Hurricane Michael for that same project. The town is proposing to submit 2 applications to the Florida Department of Economic Opportunity, and one is for upgrades to the town's stormwater drainage, and then one is for the upgrades to the town's well number 2. And we're holding this public hearing tonight for public input on these 2 projects. Project number 1 is the Second Avenue drainage. This project involves the replacement of the existing 48-inch culverts under the roadway on 2nd Avenue that were undermined during Michael. The improvements would replace the culverts, the head walls, and replace the base, subgrade, and pavement at the culvert crossing. The estimated cost associated with this application under administration would be $20,377, under engineering $43,279, construction $343,886, for a total to be applied for is $407,542. Are there any questions or comments on project 1?
This is at the foot of the hill behind
Airport, yes,
Airport. Down, right down here, when you go down, you can go back up to Pioneer down the range.
Okay. Okay.
And that is a very needed thing. That's been a bridge, it's been covered, it's been a bridge again, been covered again. When we were all, the flat street was paved, we was all little boys and girls that were a bridge under there. And it ran all the time. I think when DOT or whoever resurfaced Pioneer that time, it lowered that. I remember how mad Edward got because it drained his pond just about. It drained the snake hole just about.
All right.
Anybody have a question on that project?
Any questions, comments?
Will there be any paving there other than just
It looks like just paving where the culvert crossings, will be. All right, project 2 is the potable water system. This project involves the replacement of approximately 110 linear feet of 6-inch pipe from the well pump to the water tower, the replacement of the well pump, and the installation of an emergency electrical generator at well number 2. Estimated cost associated with this one is administration $16,505. Engineering is $35,056. Construction is $278,549. For an estimated construction cost to be applied for, or total cost to be applied for, is $330,110. And this emergency electrical generator will be a permanent electrical generator there at the well pump. Are there any questions or comments on project area 2?
this is the one out here?
out here. That oil, yeah. It is
Our original is number two.
two, yeah.
Okay.
This was, you remember, one was back here all years ago, you know. Then two, is up there, and then three is George Rogers.
Okay.
All right, so the steps required in the CDBG DR Hurricane Michael Round 2 application process is to advertise and hold a public hearing, which is what we're doing this evening. We'll obtain council approval to move forward and submit the 2 proposed projects applications as potentially amended by public comments. The town will receive public comments no later than September 13th of this year. If necessary, based on any of the comments, we'll revise one or both applications. And then we will submit both applications to the state no later than September 17th, 2021. I'd be happy to answer any questions on this. And if not, we'll just need a motion and approval to move forward with submitting the proposed projects to the state.
Is these two the only two that we can propose?
Then we could tie back to Michael.
We can do.
Well, I was thinking about that culvert right there between my house and Miss Finch. It goes across the road from the church, across towards her house and my house.
Mhm.
That culvert stays full all the time. And
It stays full because of debris. We cleaned it out this week, it was bad.
Oh,
Yeah, but, yeah, we probably could look at that too,
I mean, would it be on this project or something
but a
else?
future project probably.
Okay.
CDBG, we all know that's Community Development Block Grant, and I know we still got some people, this is the first time we've done into some new, but that's this one in particular is about to be tied Hurricane Michael. The whale, the pump and the whale, are they housed inside that block house next to the water tower?
Yes,
Or is it, okay, down next to the splash pad, what's that little structure down there?
that's the splash pad controls and everything.
Okay.
We're, in our FERDAP grants, we're gonna upgrade that there too.
That looks dangerous.
It is,
It
we're
looks
gonna
like-
upgrade that,
It looks
yes.
like an attractive nuisance for kids to try to climb
That,
that.
yeah, well, they tried to tear it off for us.
Yeah, we need to put a house in there. Okay, so all right, we have the opportunity to apply for 2. Do we have to do, Melissa, you may know this, we may not, do we have to do some kind of advertising or consultants or something like that?
We will later if we get approved.
Yeah, if
We don't
you're
have to do
awarded the
that.
project, then you'll follow pretty much the same that you do for your small city CDBG.
We
You'll
don't have to
follow.
do that for her to be here to make a
No,
presentation?
no. And we're doing this, we're submitting the applications at no cost to the town. So it will only be if you're awarded the project, then you would go out and you would advertise for a grant administrator and an engineer.
What's the chances of us being awarded that project?
It's hard to say. It's competitive. You're competing with other counties. Fortunately, you're not competing with all the counties in the state, so you're competing primarily with Jackson County. I know Franklin County has some that they're putting in, and then others in Washington County. So it's kind of hard to say, and we don't have a good idea yet of who all is submitting. And because there's no maximum amount, we can't really speculate on how much people are requesting. So. But as soon as we find that information, we will definitely let you guys know. What we like to do is once they're all submitted, then we'll ask the state for a list of all the ones that are submitted and how much they're asking for, and then we just kind of do a spreadsheet from there and see, can they fund all of them, or how are they gonna, and then we'll try to get scoring information from them and all that, so we can kind of give you an idea of where you stand.
Are we competing with other cities our size, or are we competing in general across the state?
There's larger cities, there's smaller cities. I know most of the communities in Jackson County are submitting. So I know Greenwood, I know Grand Ridge, Graceville, I know Cottondale, they're all submitting. I know the city of Carabel and Franklin County is submitting. I'm sure Mariana is gonna come in. So I mean, there's a wide range, because I know Mariana's probably bigger.
Are we competing with Tampa and Jacksonville?
No, and those are all HUD entitlement communities anyways. So even like Tallahassee, that's a HUD entitlement community. So you're not competing. These are small city funds that are going through the disaster side of it. So you're only competing with those that are, similar.
Is it only the areas that were declared?
Yes.
And with Michael?
Yes, and they have to have damage tied back to Michael. So,
So those others wouldn't.
no, they would not. So it's a smaller area. It's a much smaller area. It's a concentrated area. We just don't know what the amounts, because there is no maximum award amount. We don't know what the other communities are going to put in for.
I've been listed to win, but I don't mind competing with the one she just said, Offers and Cottondale, and like that, because they ain't the same boat we are. They small, everything is all. Okay, anybody have a question? We got opportunities to apply for 2 grants. One to replace the drainage structure at on Second Avenue, and the other is to replace that generator, probably 25 or 30 years old.
It was here when I came,
Okay.
but our main problem down there is our piping is awful. It could go any day.
If we could only get one, do we have to say what our priority is?
No, you do not.
Okay, because I think that would probably be it for me to wait on. Okay, what's the pleasure of the council? We need to.
They need to vote this resolution separate, or
No, they can just do a motion and,
the resolution
However-
in your packet there.
Yeah.
Okay,
and that's however, whatever you require for that, Margaret, is fine. There's no specifics with DEO.
can I read it by title? If we want to do this, we have to pass a resolution entitled, "A Resolution Authorizing the Submission of 2 Applications in Round 2 of the Rebuild Florida General Infrastructure Community Development Block Grant Disaster Recovery, CDBG-DR, program to mitigate the impact of Hurricane Michael on the town of Wausau." The 2 applications are being submitted to the Florida Department of Economic Opportunity, and that's the State Department that, the division of the state that administers CDBG grants. I have a negative test. If you cannot hear me, I'll pull it down. I'm just doing this. We're still being cautious. Okay, so if you can hear me, that's okay. So what's the pleasure of the council?
I'll make a motion that we move forward with the grant.
We have a motion to apply and execute the resolution.
Yes.
Okay, is there a second?
I'll second it.
We have a motion and a second to apply for 2 grants and to execute the resolution that does that. Any discussion on the motion? How do you vote, Mr. Parker?
Yes.
Mr. Carter?
Yes.
Ms. West? Ms. Walton?
Yes.
And the chair votes yes. Is this an original? I signed these, just like
That's fine.
you got one there, I need to
No,
sign.
you find that one to be perfect. Thank
Okay.
you, Melissa.
All right, thank you.
Melissa, anything else?
That's it.
Need for the public hearing?
That is
Anything
it.
else for the public hearing?
Okay.
Okay, we will adjourn. How's Mr. Fred doing?
He's doing good.
Easy?
Yeah, he's not traveling anymore, so we're kind of keeping him. He's primarily working from home, but he'll still, come in every once in a while. But he's doing well, busy as can be. So
Can we say hello? We've been
I sure
working for a
will.
long, long time.
Yep.
Roger, I was talking to Melissa before you got here about the house over here.
Yeah.
And they're gonna look into something also on that house that, we might do, finagle some funds around.
We might be able to get some COVID, there's some COVID funding that's coming down. Those applications are actually, they just released the date yesterday or the day before. They're gonna be due November 1st. So Fred's gonna look in to see if we can't use maybe some COVID funding to get that building, the ADA compliant.
If we can get a letter from the hospital or the health department stating that they would use it to give flu shots or to give COVID testing and vaccine, have a day like to come or something, we could use it as our community building also.
Good.
Yeah,
And I don't know if it will help you, but it hasn't always sat here, but that's probably a historical home too. It's gonna be 70+ years old.
Yeah, I talked to Mr. Trey about that, he said it's been remodeled too much.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it won't, help you under this, but the fact that you're gonna, we can put in there that you're gonna be doing the vaccines, the testing and things like that, we're hoping we can get some of that, COVID money. And I know that DEO they're really gonna be pushing these COVID funds to get them out to communities. In fact, they may even take some of the small cities if they get a bunch of these COVID applications in, because in that one, you're going to be competing with the entire state of Florida. Other than in the larger cities, the entitlement communities, you're going to be competing with all the small cities. But they are looking at potentially taking some of the small cities' money that they have, that pot, and pushing it and getting some of these COVID applications funded. So they're really looking to fund everything that they possibly can. So
Have you been in the house? Except for the carport on the end of it, the inside looks like it did when I was a little boy.
That and, it's,
The heart of it's still historical.
yeah, it's, and we gotta make it, come up to ADA compliant, and the bathrooms are not, and the septic tank, when DOT removed the trees from the yard, they removed the septic tank too with their equipment.
So
We gotta start over.
yeah.
maybe you can find us something.
Yeah, we're definitely
It'd be an
gonna look in-
asset to the town.
Okay, we're definitely going to look into that. And even if we can't get it under the COVID, we could come back with the small cities, and renovate it as a community center. So, same thing. We could do some, work. We could even put the gazebo in under small cities. So, but we'll definitely look into it, and we'll let you know. As soon as we get these in, we'll turn around and we'll get with you on the COVID ones, because I know that deadline's going to be coming up pretty soon, and I'm pretty sure we're going to have to hold either 1 or 2 public hearings for that. But we'll definitely get you that information here in the next week or two. All right.
Thank you for coming.
Not a problem. If y'all have any other questions, Miss Margaret knows how to get in touch with us.
We'll look forward to the day you bring us a check.
Well, I hope that's very soon.
Soon.
All right, let me know if you have any questions on
I will.
this, and I'll get with you probably towards the end of the